welcome to the Managing the Smart Mind podcast with your host, Coach Kramer. Episode 35, Optimizing for the Wrong Thing. Hey, smart humans. At the time of recording, I am actually preparing for a super fun trip to northern Italy. So good. And this made me aware of a pattern I have that I also see with a lot of my clients, which is something I call over-optimizing or optimizing for the wrong thing. And this is what it looks like with regards to my trip. And, let me know if you recognize this. So, of course, I'm super excited to go. As you may know by now, I am obsessed with art. So we're going first to Ravenna and then to Milan. In Ravenna, we're going to see the mosaics. In Milan, we're going to see Da Vinci's Last Supper, lots of other amazing art, the Duomo, all the things. So good. And of course, really looking forward to some amazing food as well. So what happens to my smart mind is like, okay, we want to make the most of this trip, right? So I'm going to prepare. I'm going to read about the things I'm going to see. I am going to create an itinerary, maybe even a list of highlights, watch videos on art history, and basically go all out on making this an incredible holiday, which is fine, right? And it's fun. But there is a risk of me over-optimizing, of optimizing for the wrong thing. And I think this comes from always being interested in so many things. And I think this goes for all of you listening. We have so many things we could do, we are interested in, we want to pursue, that we always experience a massive lack of time. And we want to cram in as much as is humanly possible, and actually more than is humanly possible. So this is what tends to happen with my trips. And I become a bit unrealistic about how many museums it is possible to actually, visit in a meaningful way in one day. Add to that the fact that I've just discovered that the town we're actually staying in overnight on the way to Italy has a railway museum with currently a Lego exhibition. And, of course, I have to go there too, right? And if I give in to this, which I've done in the past, basically this is how it goes. I will have an incredible list of things to see, and I will go see them. And then around 7 p.m., I will just be completely finished, done for the day. I won't be able to do anything, not able to even have a meaningful conversation. I just need to lie down, underneath a blanket and be left alone in a dark room. And that is not the best way to spend your evenings, especially if you're not traveling alone, and especially not in Italy, right? So instead of optimizing for the most possible museums in a day, like on a trip, I want to take into account more than that. I want to take into account not just how much can I possibly cover, how much can I possibly see. No, what is the best, what is the most joyful for me with my human body and limited capacity, right? So that I have, together with my husband, the most amazing, fun trip. And I actually get to be there for it and not be exhausted or become very annoyed or have to shut down or, get dysregulated, all the things. So for me, it means taking a step back and then sort of doing the sanity check. And I sometimes need help with this. Let's be honest. I need help from my family, who then restrict me to maybe 2 museums in a day, right? And they just, whenever I'm like, but, we have more time. They're like, yeah, we have more time, but you will be insufferable and also be awful for you. So no, it's just a no. Yes, it's physically possible, but you don't want the result you're going to create by going to see so many things, by optimizing for the amount of museums. And this is what I see with so many of my clients. They optimize for so many things, right? Being the best at something, doing something incredibly fast, excelling at work, at their degrees, and even at home, right? They optimize for being super efficient. So when they walk to the kitchen, they always make sure to take something with them and bring it back. But they forget that they're a human and they're not some kind of crazy efficiency machine, right? That constantly has to produce. And if you live in that way, life becomes pretty awful because you're constantly putting so much pressure on yourself to make the most of everything that you don't get to enjoy it because you're, again, optimizing for the wrong thing. You're not optimizing for you. So I want you to do a quick inventory in your mind, right? Where is this happening for you? Where are you being this evil kind of industrial revolution slave driver boss to yourself? We're like, work harder, create more podcasts, be better at work, create more clients, run faster, do the laundry more efficiently. I mean, seriously, I have methods of folding, right? I even optimize that. And sometimes it's fun. It's a fun game, right? And it only can be that. But when it sort of goes out of the fun zone into the have to do this, sort of pressured, have to be productive zone, then you want to stop because it takes all the joy out of life. And this is also a massive contributor to burnout. Okay. So take a moment and think about your life and think about where are you optimizing? First of all, it may not even be for the wrong things. Are you trying to take the fastest way to work, right? Do you know how to take the secret shortcuts or the best secondary roads to get there faster? Good for you, right? But this is what I mean. This is constantly your brain's optimizing. How can I do this better, faster, more efficiently? Do you have ways of maybe shopping more efficiently? Or maybe in your mind is more efficiently. My mind's obsessed still with sales. I think this is also an ADHD dopamine thing. And sometimes I can get into these weird loops where I think, but it's cheaper now to buy this thing. And then this other thing is also on sale and I'm going to need that in 3 months' time. So I better add that to it. And before I know it, I'll have spent 30 minutes on a website I don't even want to be on, ordering stupid things like tissues and toilet paper instead of having fun and maybe saving, 10 euros. What is costing me my life? It's insane, right? So there, I think I'm optimizing for money and I am, but again, it's very expensive because, I could have done something much better with that time. So you could be optimizing for time, right? You could be trying to do things faster, and that could actually put so much pressure on you that you don't feel good anymore. You could be optimizing for money, but that actually could be costing you time, right? So again, optimizing for the wrong thing. You could be optimizing for getting as much experience crammed into your trip as possible. Again, not optimizing for the most fun holiday. So where are you doing this in your life? Notice, right? Notice where you're doing this. And then consider doing something else. Letting go of that desire to cram as much into your day, your trip, your life as possible, right? Trying to be frugal in the wrong way, trying to be efficient in a way that really doesn't serve you. And once you've noticed that and you want to change it, there may be some discomfort because you're so used to doing this, and you may even be using it to feel like a good citizen, right? To kind of justify your existence on the planet. Like, at least I'm being super efficient about things. At least when I go for a walk, I pick up the trash or whatever it is you're doing. Be very careful of that, right? Because you do not have to justify your existence, full stop. And you definitely do not have to justify your existence by being productive. Very important to remember. So instead, practice doing something which isn't productive or efficient. And that may be very, very hard for you, right? Your brain might be like, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do something that is not productive? What is the use of that? And if that's what you're thinking, you specifically need to do this, right? And try this. So go for a walk without listening to a podcast or a course, right? Or trying to learn a new language. When you walk upstairs, do not take anything with you that needs to be taken upstairs, right? Just walk on the stairs, maybe feel the staircase underneath your feet, all the things. When you're going on a trip, don't spend all your time like me studying the history, Wikipedia, etc., right? But also spend some time maybe with the person you're traveling with or the people you're meeting, and not all the time up in your brain. Smell the smells, right? In the places you visit. See the colors. Activate all your senses. Really be present instead of just being up in your brain, optimizing your learning, your experience, all the things. And when you do that, you'll open yourself up to a much better experience of life. And interestingly, time may even seem to slow down. It's magic, right? So we're constantly stressing out, running around trying to save time by doing more. But when you stop optimizing, for example, if we're doing more things in less time, then you actually experience time slowing down. And when you stop optimizing for money, you may actually experience how rich you are. It's incredible. So on the flip side of optimizing, that actually seems a way to increase your time, your money, right? The value of your experience. If you stop doing that, you will actually increase your time, your experience of time, your feeling of aliveness, all the things, right? So please start being aware. Right? Am I optimizing again? Am I doing this again? Am I trying to cram too much into little time? Am I forcing myself to be productive? Right? And then don't do it. Instead, play with your senses. Be present. See what other games you can play that are necessarily useful. And see what that brings you when it comes to being alive and enjoying this incredible gift we have of being on this weird planet with all the things. Give it a try and let me know how it goes. And I will report back on my trip to Italy, where I'm going to practice this same thing. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye. Would you love to experience what it is like to be really free? I can help. DM me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook to learn how you can work with me, or send me an old-fashioned email on podcast@elsekramer.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Managing the Smart Mind podcast. I love that at the time of recording this, there are smart humans listening in 79 countries. Can you believe it? I really appreciate all of you. So do send me any questions or requests for topics you have. And if you enjoyed the podcast, I'd love for you to give it a 5-star review so other smart humans can find it. Thank you. Hey, smart human. You're probably listening to this podcast because you want to learn how to manage that smart mind of yours. And the first step is actually getting your bearings, doing a little brain audit. And I have the perfect tool for that, the Mapping Your Unique Brain Workbook. And you can actually download it for free at www.coachkramer.org/brainmap. So that's coachkramer.org/brainmap. Go check it out and play with it and take your first step to managing your smart mind.